No Way Out, you won the Intercontinental title from Chris Jericho. I mean, at that point, the IC title was a massive deal. It was a huge thing if somebody got it.
It was a big deal back then, and I was able to win it from Chris Jericho, which was a great win for me. I've really had a lot of fun working with Chris, and I do want to say this today. This kid is still going. You know, he won't stop, and he keeps getting better. I always say that I feel that Shawn Michaels is the greatest of all time, but Chris Jericho is coming on strong.
And with the IC title, I mean, you win it so quickly. Were you surprised again that they're giving you that belt? And did you understand at the time how big a deal that was?
Well, I knew that Vince had major plans for me. What he wanted me to do when I started was not just wear one gold medal. He wanted me to wear like 25 of them. It was horrible. I mean, Jerry Briscoe ribbed me. I don't know who you know who Jerry Briscoe is, but okay. He ribbed me one day and said, "Kurt, where are your medals?" I said, "They're in my bag." He said, "You're supposed to wear them all the time." I said, "Why would I wear my medals all the time?" I said, "Like at the airport, the hotel?" He said, "Everywhere." So I'm like, "Oh, shit, I better put them on." So I'm wearing them for the next 3 days everywhere I go. And I walk into the arena one day and to go to Raw, and Vince is there, and I walk up and I say, "Hi, Vince." He said, "What are you doing with your medals on?" I said, "Jerry Briscoe told me I had to wear them all the time." He said, "No, you don't." So it was just one of the funny stories I wanted to tell you about that. But they wanted me to win every title my first year. The more gold I had, the more heat I would get. That's Vince's. That was Vince's idea and what his goal and plan was. So I did end up winning the European title. Then I won the Intercontinental title. I was actually the first only Eurocontinental champion, which I claim. By the way, D'Lo Brown was, but D'Lo Brown doesn't count, so we know that. So I won those two titles, and coming up after that was King of the Ring, and I'm sure we're going to get to that, right?
Yeah, well, before that, I want to ask you about something that people don't usually ask you about, but people might not remember that you were associated briefly on screen with Bob Backlund.
Oh, God, yeah.
Any memories you want to share?
Oh, my. He was a piece of work. He dances to the beat of a different drum. One time, this is how crazy he was. One time, we were doing a pre-tape, and I had a title on. I think it was a European title. And we're doing a pre-tape, and a wrestler was supposed to come up to me and say, "Hey, Kurt Angle, I think you're gonna lose tonight." And I was supposed to say, "Well, no, I'm not." It was a BS pre-tape. But Bob Backlund was there. He was my manager. And so I look at Bob after this wrestler says something, and I said, "Will you do the honors?" And what he was supposed to do was he was supposed to put him in the cross-face chicken wing, his submission hold, and make him submit during the pre-tape. So he gets ready. He does one of these before he starts doing it, and he looks at the director who's behind the camera. The camera's live. This is live TV. He looks at the director and says, "Isn't he supposed to stand up first?" And we all look at the camera like, "Holy shit, he didn't just say that." So it was just like, with Bob, it was like stuff like that all the time. He was just really different. And I can't explain Bob Backlund. If you think of a space alien, he's probably one of them, yeah.
Space alien Bob Backlund. So good to be back. But it seemed weird because, like you say, Vince has got all these big plans for you. All this stuff is happening. The Bob Backlund thing. Was that ever supposed to?
Well, Bob was an amateur wrestler. He was a national champion in college. So Vince thought it'd be the right thing to put us together, and I don't exactly think it was the right thing. But, Bob didn't have any heat. He was always a babyface his whole career, so it didn't make any sense for him to be teamed up with me.
Well, the next thing I'm sure most people in this room have seen these. If anybody remembers the vignettes on the college campus at Penn State in 2000, where abstinence. You were so you're at this college campus, being a complete square with these college students. I mean, you were just hamming it up. I mean, you must have known this is gold.
Well, Vince wanted me to be like a nerdy milk drinker, don't swear. Kind of guy that, I talked about abstinence and, not having sex. And it was a really cool character. It was definitely a nerdy character, but I was also a hypocrite because, I would say things and I would do the opposite. So it was another way to gain more heat, and it was really brilliant what Vince McMahon was doing with my character. And it was very, it wasn't like overbearing. Like it was me doing slight things here and there that made it really interesting. And Vince was able to create a lot of heat for me to continue to be a heel. And what's crazy is to this day, I have a lot of fans that come up to me and say, "God, I hated your guts your first year." And they're like, "But I really appreciate it now." And I'm like, "Thanks, man. I really appreciate that." So I know I did it right, and I was always more comfortable wrestling as a heel.
The next pay-per-view that was on Channel 4 after Royal Rumble 2000 was Backlash, and you faced the Big Show cosplaying as Hulk Hogan. As the Showster, I think it was. The Showster. What was your, how did that come about, and what was your opinion when that was presented to you?
Well, Big Show was entertaining as hell. He could do anything, and that guy was so funny. But the thing was, what Vince McMahon was trying to do was he was trying to build up his big stars, but also give me a rub. So there were a lot of pay-per-views that I lost my rookie year before I won the championship. And some of them were, one was against Big Show, one was against Undertaker, one was against Triple H and The Rock in a triple threat match. So, but what Vince was doing was he was putting me with the top guys to make me look like I was equal with them before he pushed me. In other words, before he gave me the world title, he started having me affiliate with the upper echelon guys like Undertaker, Big Show, The Rock, Triple H, and it worked extremely well. Fans started noticing that I was not just a mid-carder, but a main eventer. And so when I won the WWE Championship, it didn't seem impossible that I did because of the way they set everything up. My rookie year was so really well planned. It was probably the best planned rookie year in the history of wrestling. And I have to thank Vince McMahon for that.
And a big part of that was winning King of the Ring in June 2000. And it felt like by King of the Ring, they were trying to make you a little bit more serious than you had maybe been, campaigning for abstinence a couple months before.
I wasn't quite as nerdy, at that particular time.
Was that a serious effort for them to go, right, okay, we want, we're about to push him up to be champion, let's make him a little bit more serious?
Well, there was like a push and pull theory going here where Vince McMahon wanted me to do some nerdy, dorky stuff, but at the same time, he wanted fans to take me seriously. So he started having me be more serious as a performer and as a character. And but I was going back and forth too. And the reason I could go back and forth is because fans did take me serious in the ring because I was an Olympic gold medalist. Like when you have those kind of accolades and you bring it to the table, of course fans are going to know, okay, Kurt Angle's a badass in real life. So thank you. But, so that really helped me. I was able to do a lot more nerdy, goofy, milk drinking, don't swear, don't drink or take drugs type of character. It made it easier for me to do that because the fans really knew that I was a real badass. The milk truck. We'll get to that, my friend.
And then it fully loaded, you worked with Undertaker for the first time. And, you always hear that Undertaker's very protective of, the company and of wrestling. What was that first time working with Undertaker like, especially with you, destroying his bike?
Yeah, destroying the bike with the milk. I had a lot of fun working with Undertaker. He's one of the most gifted performers I've ever been in the ring with. And back then, this was my stamp of approval. Working with Undertaker this early in my career, I was only on TV, 5 months. And here I am, I'm headlining a pay-per-view with Undertaker. But it wasn't an incredible match, and it wasn't very long. I think the match was only 6 minutes. And it was set up to put Undertaker over, get him to another position because they were going to get ready for him to do a storyline, a big storyline with somebody, with another top guy. And for me, it was to give me the rub against The Undertaker. To be able to say, I had a pay-per-view, I wrestled a pay-per-view against Undertaker, I am now a main eventer. So it really helped both of us.
And I mean, we can't talk about your first year without talking about your on-screen relationship with Stephanie McMahon Helmsley.
The love triangle.
The love triangle of all love triangles. Because there's subtle plants to it, like you guys saying hi backstage or whatever. I mean, how did it get pitched to you that you're going to be kind of doing stuff with her regularly? And just for juicy gossip, did you know that her and Triple H were together when you were doing the storyline in real life?
Well, I think everybody knew that Triple H and Stephanie were together at this particular time. But no, this angle, this storyline is what made me. This is what set me into the main event status for good. This storyline was the most important storyline of my career. And it had a lot to do with, being, going up against Triple H and Stephanie being kind of the person in between that she's trying to choose between me and Triple H as, her girlfriend or wife or whatever you want to call it. But this program was one of my best performances of my career. And, we had a lot of fun doing it. I felt a little uncomfortable at times, where I had to kiss Stephanie. And, it's crazy because I remember the time I had to kiss Stephanie, Vince McMahon was directing it. So we're on a couch, and Stephanie's laying down, and I'm sitting next to her. I'm leaned over on the couch, and Vince is in a chair right next to the couch like this. I'm like, what the is he looking at? What's he think's going to happen? I mean, it's almost like he wanted to see like what was going on here. It was crazy. So I end up, at one point, I end up kissing Stephanie. And when it was over, Vince said, great job. Everybody did a great job. And I was really excited. And Stephanie says, hey, Kurt. I said, what? She said, you kiss like a fish. I said, what'd you want me to do? Your dad's here. Like, would you want me to stick my tongue down your throat? So it was a funny segment, but this angle is really what made me as a wrestler.
And then obviously the big match, because you do the kiss on the Smackdown before SummerSlam. She, at the end, kind of kisses you back. So the cliffhanger is she going to leave him and go with you? But then at SummerSlam, when it's you and Rock and Triple H, you have that kind of injury moment on the announce table. And you somehow are able to come back and do stuff later in that match. I mean, tell people the story about it.
Well, what happened was we planned before the match that I would pretend to get injured, and I would get wheeled back, and then I'd come back out later on in the match and finish the match. But it didn't happen that way. What happened was when I got up on the table and Triple H was going to pedigree me on it, the table gave way too soon. So my arms were behind my back and Triple H had my arms trapped. And when he went to go up, the table broke and we went down and he wasn't able to let go of my arms to protect myself. So I went down with my arms behind my back, landed straight on my head on the concrete floor. And I was out. I don't remember anything. And Triple H laid down next to me, and he said I was snoring. So He was like, oh, we got a sleeper here. So we didn't know what to do. I mean, I was out of it. I wasn't going anywhere. They had to get a gurney for real and wheel me to the back. And listen, this will not happen today because this was a major liability. I mean, you know, when you get a concussion like that, and then you get wheeled back and you come back and finish the match, you know, this was different. This was the Attitude Era, and you were able to let things slide back then. Not today. You won't see that. But I ended up going backstage, and I was really out of it. And the crazy thing is the WWE's documenting everything. So they're showing footage of this. They're filming it while I'm backstage. And Vince comes up to me and says, hey, Kurt, you still have to finish the match. I was like, what? He's like, you have to finish the match. You have a pre-tape coming up. It's going to be live. Stephanie's going to say, I need you to go out there, Kurt, and all I want you to say is, I'll do it for you, Steph. I said, okay. So Stephanie says, I need you to go out there. I looked at Vince, I said, what am I saying? He goes, Kurt, we're going live in 2 minutes. Rehearse this. Just say, I'll do it for you, Steph. So I go to, Stephanie asks me again, hey, Kurt, will you go out to the ring? I look at Vince again, what am I saying? He goes, God damn it, someone get him some smelling salts. So Vince is pissed off because I'm out of it. And he needs me to go back and finish the match, or the whole match is going to be ruined. So we finally did the pre-tape. I didn't do it that well, but we got through it. And Stephanie takes me out to the ring. She's literally holding my arm like a mother is holding a child. She's walking me down the ring. We get to the ringside, and she says, do you know what to do? I said, no. I don't remember anything. I don't know what I'm doing in this match. My mind's not there, you know. So she says, okay, when The Rock hits the ropes, you're going to grab his foot. And so I said, okay. So The Rock hits the rope. I grab his foot. She goes, pull him out. So I pull him out. I look at her. She says, throw him into the steps, damn it. Like I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. She's telling me what I'm supposed to do because I can't remember. But she's expecting me to remember what I'm doing, and I don't remember. So I throw him into the staircase, and I look at her. She says, get in the ring. So I get in the ring, and thank God Triple H carried me the rest of that match. There's no way I would have gotten through that. You can tell at a certain point where Triple H had this sledgehammer, and he was going to hit me with it, and I was supposed to duck, and he was going to hit Stephanie with it. But Triple H smartened up. He knew I wasn't going to duck. So he took the sledgehammer by one hand, grabbed my head with his other hand, and when he went to throw the sledgehammer at me, he pulled my head down and hit Stephanie with it. It was brilliant, but it worked. Now, if you watch that match over again, you will see Triple H tell me what to do every spot of the match. It's hilarious. Nobody picks it up because you're not looking for it. But if you watch that match, you'll see how out of it I was.
I mean, after that big match at SummerSlam, it always felt like the end of the story was going to be you and Stephanie run off together as the evil couple. And that's not quite what happened. Triple H beat you, and they stayed together. Was there ever any talk of that being the ending, or because it felt like it kind of fizzled out at the end?
You know what? I honestly believe that the storyline was going so well that somebody kiboshed it. I can't say who. I'm not going to say who, but it just got dropped by the wayside for no reason. It was like, okay, Kurt, from next month you're going to wrestle The Rock for the world title. How am I going to get there? Like, you know, I just had this program with Stephanie and Triple H. I don't have a program with The Rock. Well, this is going to begin your program with him. I said, okay. So it just got dropped, and I don't know why. It was such a great storyline, and the ratings were doing incredibly well at this particular time. So I'm really surprised that it got dropped as quickly as it did. I'm not sure if it was Stephanie or Triple H, or Stephanie and Triple H, or if it was Vince McMahon. I don't know who it was, but somebody did not want the storyline to continue. And you know what? I get it if it was them, but I don't know if it was, or if the writers just didn't have anything left to finish it off with. I really don't know what it was, but it was kind of weird that it just ended.